What's up, y'all? It's Tasha. Happy Monday night. So I'm back in Vegas. I was just in Florida last week. Had a great time. I was hoping to get out and seeing my Crestview students. So I'm sorry, babies, I didn't get to see you guys, but next time I come out for sure. I just wanted to come on here and drop a couple thoughts that I've just a recent conversation that I had about this particular situation. So for those who don't know, I've actually been in education for about 17 years and a few different realms of education. And then also I'm a mother of several kids. So building Elite, I used a bunch of my different experiences. And so one of them in particular, I'm actually going to share a story of my frustrations as a mom and how I was kind of made to feel and felt like I was failing my kids. So before I get started, I know we talk a lot about homeschooling and how homeschooling is like the route for us. The homeschooling for us, it just solves all these problems, especially going the micro school route, where maybe you want to homeschool, but you're like, either I don't have time or I will work full time, or my kids and I are just going to pull each other's hair out, or I want my kids to be around other students, different things. There's different reasons, different obstacles that parents have why they don't homeschool. And so Elite was built so that we can actually eliminate all of these obstacles that parents have, like myself and like in the past. And so just giving like the best educational setting for your child. So just kind of like a little background, little story. So there was a point when I was working in higher education, as I was actually a director of student affairs for several years. I helped run 2 college campuses, and I was just working a lot. And so I would come home after a long day of work, and I remember this vividly, doing homework with my oldest, who at the time I think was in like 3rd grade. She's on here. Tassie, do you remember those days? And we were doing like 4 hours of homework, and I was like, holy crap, you're in 3rd grade. I did not sign up for this. And it was really tough for me as a mom, because she would come home with piles of homework, and I was like, yo, what did you do at school all day? Like, I didn't know that I was like, your teacher also, but that was stressing me out. And then on top of that, Tassie, you remember that? Yeah, those were good times, or maybe not such good times. We made it through though, fam. We got it done. I'm not gonna lie. There were several times, you guys, that I would write a letter to the teacher and I'm like, we are not doing that tonight. Like, absolutely not. We did as much as we can, but my child, she's racking her brain. She needs a timeout. So we're not doing that. Maybe we'll get to it later. And not only that, I had multiple kids. So if I'm over here having to dedicate this much time for one child for all this busy work that you set out, then how do you expect to do homework with the rest of my kids? So I remember it was around the same time, this phase that I went through, and my one right behind her. So Tassie's on here. She vividly remembers those experiences. It was rough. I came home from work. I was not the most patient person ever. I know that. Sorry, baby. And then, so it wasn't there. But then getting to my second one. So my second daughter, she was not as outspoken as Tassie. She was not the one to raise her hand. She was shy. She was timid. She, she didn't understand something, she would close up. And anytime you put a test in front of her and you said test or quiz, even if she knew the material, she would just like tense up. Even at home, where we're like, hey, this is, let's do this little quiz together. It doesn't matter. It could have been A, B, C, D. It could have been her ABCs, and she would have freaked out. And that was just like this anxiety that she would have. And so, putting her in the classroom it gave her a lot of anxiety, and she kind of would retract, and she started to fall behind. And I would get letters home all the time, and the letters made me feel like a horrible mom. Like, she's failing at this, she's not doing good in this. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever felt this way before, but I was like, oh my gosh, like I am failing my kid. So and again, to no fault of the teacher, they actually had great teachers. I loved them so much. Some of them were my teachers when I was growing up. It's really the school system that we're talking about, you guys. So I remember requesting an IEP twice for her. I actually requested it, not once, but twice. And she, didn't get approved for an IEP. And I was actually really sad because I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do for her as a mom. Super sweet girl, super obedient. Confidence was not there in the classroom. So I felt like I was failing her more and more. And every year she was going further and further behind. And so their solution was to pull her out of class and to do small reading groups. But they would pull her out of one class to do reading groups and then stick her back in. And then she has to go take tests with the rest of the class. And then what do you think happens? She's falling behind even more. Now she feels even more stressed out because they just went over stuff for 45 minutes to an hour that she has no idea what they're talking about. So I'm like, this is kind of backwards. And we were just spinning our wheels trying to find a solution for her. So fast forward to 2020 when we moved out here to Vegas and I started homeschooling. And that's when I started homeschooling, the kids at that point. And it was the best thing for her. When people from her past look at her now, they were like, and I tell stories about how shy she was. For some of you guys who are on that know who Marley is, I'll just say her name, Marley, because she'd be fine with me sharing the story. She's at practice right now. But Marley is a completely different person than she was years ago prior to homeschooling. She is outspoken, she's confident, she's bubbly. And with that, how it's translated in the classroom is she is not afraid to learn. She's not afraid to ask questions. She's not afraid to try new big words and throw it out there. And sometimes it's she nails it. And sometimes, not even just her, but all the students. I love when any of my kids use a new word that they've heard. And then we talk about context and stuff like that. But Marley has no fear now. And she is going to be so successful. And when I share stories about Marley, it's funny because if I would have kept her in that public school system, if I would have kept her in the box, it breaks my heart to think about where her spirit would be right now. She would continue to feel small. She would be continued to, and they always told her too. That's the thing is when she was young, they had no qualms about sharing your child is behind in front of the child. So how do you think that, number one, how does that make me feel as a parent? And then number two, how does that make her feel as a student to know that, oh, she's struggling at this or she gets pulled out? And so, I've realized that homeschooling has been such a great route for all different types of students. And even students are ahead. We have some students that are way ahead. And instead of feeling like they have to sit there and just tutor other kids and help them get ahead, because it's not their responsibility at the end of the day. Yes, there's a level of leadership that we have and we can teach, but also if they're super ahead of the curve, they need to continue to go. There's a mom actually out in Crestview, and I love it because she's reached out and she's like, hey, I want my son to be doing this. And I love that. I love those conversations where it's like, let's go, let's get it. Let's put them on a track that's going to set them up for success and what that looks like. And so this is just really, it's just been really such a blessing for the company, for people, students that we have. But also, I just wanted to come on here and share that also and remind people that I am also a mother, and the concepts that we have and the reasons why we set some things in place is not just because we've read about it or not just because, hey, we think this is a good idea, but it's because of our experience as parents also, and having children, different types of learners as children. So that's pretty much, one thing that I wanted to come on here and talk about the microschooling. And again, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to DM us. Oh, and also if you don't follow my personal, feel free to follow my personal as well. I love when I sit and talk with parents or I meet parents for the first time, whether in person or on the phone, and they rattle off my entire history. So funny story. I'm probably going to tag her in here too, but let's see. Oh, Darlene. JD was the same, never participated, anxiety, and fast forward to now, and he reads aloud, volunteers, and so much more. Thank you, Elite. I love those comments. Thank you so much, sis. And it's funny you say that, because when we see JD, like, he is the kid, he is the man, and that's what we know about him. And I just love seeing him be so happy and positive and comfortable. He's the big man on campus, and I love that he can feel that way, and just be in an environment that just like boosts him up. And not only that, your family is amazing. I feel like that's why we've been having so much success, is because of the families and the staff. And I missed you last time I came out there, girl. I got to get a hug next time I'm there for sure. And your baby girl, I got to see her. But I love it. I love stories like this. I love to see the growth. I was actually just talking to another mom yesterday at one of our little girls' birthday parties. And she was saying, so when her daughter first came, and communication is the key, the complete package. Love you. I love you too. Thank you for that. I'm so glad. That just made my night. So I was talking to another mom at a birthday party. We went to a birthday party of another student yesterday, and we were reminiscing. So she was one of my first students. Like, when I talk about when I used to do this at my kitchen table, her daughter was one of the OGs. Like, back in the day, there was maybe like 6 of them. And we were laughing at how when she came with us, there was only 5 or 6 kids, and this little girl would not talk. She was super quiet. She just, in my home also, and just little kids her age. And she was just really, really quiet. Fast forward to now, and she just owns the stage or a tour or you name it. And she is so confident. This girl's in 3rd grade. And I just love it, because when we would have tours or people come in, she was just one that was like, yeah, I got it. I got this. This is mine. We've had different events where she'll just grab the mic. She'll be on the mic. But that confidence, she just exudes that. And we absolutely love it. So it's so amazing to see them from even kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, where they start to really come out of their shell at all grades. But really, like, the little ones, where they can know that, hey, yeah, I'm a boss and I'm a leader, and I know that I can do this, and nobody's going to think anything of it. So it's really awesome to see the transition. And just like the comments that Darlene left, it's only been a couple months. JD's only been with us for 2 months. And the amount of change that we've been able to see in some of these students, like, makes me emotional. We have some students who were also on medication prior to coming with us. And we're told that they're naughty. We're told that your kid can't sit still for X amount of hours. You should consider this, or put them on meds, all these different things. And then next thing you know, we're getting notes from their academic coaches that's like, where behavioral problems, where these kids are amazing, or this kid's off their meds, or this kid is the first one to lead. And it's now allowing these students to step into a place of power that they've never experienced before. And I love seeing that. I absolutely love it. A lot of times when we get students that come with us, especially if I know students that had a rough experience with prior, educational settings. We have some students who've come to us who maybe for one reason or another haven't been able to stay with their educational setting or educational institution. And I let them know, I'm like, hey, like, whatever we're on the notes over there, we don't care about that. It is brand new. You have a clean slate. You're coming here. You're a leader. You're powerful, and we're going to get after it. And wherever you're at, wherever you're trending right now, that's where you're at. And we're going to get you to work up to where you want to be. So I love it. That's one of the perks of microschooling. The other thing is also, I have some really exciting news starting next year. We have a lot of amazing things that we're implementing. So one of those things is STEM. You guys, we have been partnering with some amazing businesses. And this is like a sneak peek. I wasn't even planning on sharing all this stuff with you guys. But for those of you guys who are on and actually watch this all the way through, you're getting some goods right now. So there's a couple groups of people that we're partnering with who are experts in their area. and one of them is so that Pie Fest that we went out to in the Bay Area. Yes, so Pie Fest, they actually run a nonprofit that is dedicated to STEM. And when I tell you, STEM is like, it's crazy, and the STEM world is nuts. And we went to this fest, and I was so excited because we're bringing that to Elite, like company wide. It's going to be ran under their direction. So, I mean, robotics, like you name it. So that's one of the sneak peeks that's coming in fall. And then also implementing our financial literacy classes from our other amazing group that we work with. They're awesome, Elite Financial Team. We're working on having a curriculum that is designed from kindergarten all the way up to, seniors in high school. So they're going to be delivering that themselves. They're the experts in the field, and we're really excited to run with them on that. And just amazing people nonetheless. And then other just like, business consultants. Fusita Anga has been really, helping us like learn how to implement different things. And just, there's a bunch of people putting their heads together to make this just a world of a difference from even what it is right now. So I'm really, really grateful for what's up and coming. And I just love that we can have so many students from across the country. And the more that we talk to people, we're realizing, man, there's so many of us that want the same things for our kids. So I know we have a lot of new followers. We have a lot of new people who have, jumped in our DMs and stuff like that. Or even are like, what exactly do you guys do? So if you are either homeschooling or thinking about homeschooling and you don't know where to start, or say you're homeschooling and you want a different situation, or you want your child to be interactive with, other kids, we're basically learning centers, and we're a drop-off learning center. So we're not a co-op. We don't expect the parents to come in and like volunteer teach or anything like that. We supplement your homeschool experience. You drop them off. We deliver instruction for all the stuff they need. We help you document literally everything that you need. And we do that all the while protecting your child. The reason why we're set up the way that we are, because we're not a charter, obviously, or a public school or anything like that. The reason why we're set up the way that we are is because we really want to protect our students from, from certain things that we don't feel is right, coming down into the public schools. And so with us being the homeschool community, we just teach the things that we want to teach, which is the 4 core subjects. They get character building, they get the financial lit, and the business, all that stuff that I've been talking about, that we've been designing, and I've actually been interviewing some of our students. That is all in one nice little neat package. And so that's what we do. So I know so many people, and you might know people, or you might be one of those people that are like, I want to homeschool, or I want my child to have a home education, but I don't want to do it. I was one of those moms. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad that you're like, I want to homeschool, but I don't think, like, I'm not that, or I don't want to collect, I don't want to grade, I don't want to look up the standards. That's where we come in. And I always laugh because I'm like, when people tell me these things, I laugh because I'm like, oh, no. I get it. You're fine. Because I'm literally, I know, hi, it's me. It's me too, sis. It's so funny because people are like, I want to homeschool, but like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, I own the company and I don't necessarily teach my kids either. So win-win. If you can relate to anybody, know that you can relate to me. And I can, rest assured, especially for all the parents, that my kids go to class every day and love it. Their academic coach, Jelani Blair, so energetic, so positive. I'm getting updates in our app, just like every other parent, where it's like, oh, we have a book, grab this book. They're going to start reading this book. I get reminders from my own staff, just like all the other parents. And when I tell you, he is a blessing, he really, really is. So all the staff are, and it's an amazing setup. We have an amazing mom on here right now that's telling us, and Darlene is awesome. So Crestview mom, because she homeschooled herself, and so she knows the contrast. she knows how much goes into it as a parent, how much energy, how much time, you know, how much, there's just a lot. There's a lot. So to go from that and say, this is a great setup, it's just, I love to hear it. I also love to hear when parents drop their kids off and they say, I don't know what to do myself for 3 or 4 hours. That's the best. It's so funny. We're like, go do you. Go do you. So yes, it's a lot. To have support from you guys is a breath of fresh air. I love that. Thank you so much. And I feel the same way. I love it. I love the support. And we really, at the end of the day, you guys, we love these kids. We absolutely love them. Our main goal, help them just feel confident and powerful. Because if a child, I feel like confidence is one of the most underused tools in education. If they feel loved and confident, they are not afraid of learning because they're not afraid of failing. And once we go that route and start talking about who they are as a person, they are open to learning anything and everything. But that's pretty much it. I love it. Thank you guys for being on. And I really appreciate you all. There's quite a few of you parents who have hopped on. And I just want to tell you parents of the current students how much I love you guys and your kids, and we support you guys. And for any of those of you who happen to have been really considering homeschooling, you don't know where to start, you're overwhelmed, just know that we're here to help. So, all right, let's see. I'm a huge helicopter parent, and Tasha was the first person I allowed to take my infant from me for the day. That's all. She's a parent to all. Yes, I remember that, and I loved her. And I'm going to bring you on sometime too, Ginger. Okay, love you guys. Have a great night.